Oh, thank you very much for the interview today. Thank you very much for the interview today. I enjoyed the discussions that we had. I'm looking forward to a positive response. Always check up is important. Politely follow up after a week if you have not received any feedback. And maintain professionalism even if you don't get the job, as it could lead to future opportunities. So it's important. My next point is being unrealistic about salary and expectations. So I've had some interviews recently and the pay is quite flexible. And we ask questions, what's your salary expectation? And some people will say, I would like to go with what the company offers, blah, 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 blah. That's a response, right? But sometimes people want you to be direct because before you came for that interview, you have a value in mind that you were thinking that, oh, if these people don't pay me 100K, I will not take this job. Because when you have calculated your expenses, I always tell people when you are called for an interview, some of the job descriptions come with the salary expectation. Do your analysis. If this job is paying me 200,000 naira and is 5 days fully on site, and the location is, maybe I'm on the mainland for those in Lagos, and the location is on the island. Once I do my calculation, Monday to Friday, this is my total transportation cost times 4 for the month. This is how much I'm going to spend on transport. This is how much I'm going to spend on feeding. This is how much I'm going to spend on saving. Is it realistic? Is it something I can do? When you go for the interview, you can put this down and negotiate. Nobody is going to kill you if you negotiate salary, but when you become unrealistic with your salary expectation is where there will be a challenge. So unrealistic salary expectation poses makes interviewer poses the person as being money conscious. And once you are seen as money conscious, it just kind of distorts your entire imagery, if that makes sense. So research salary benchmark for your role and be confident in negotiating your worth for be confident in negotiating your worth while being realistic about market conditions. Consider your total compensation package, including benefit, growth opportunities, and company culture. I've explained that. So please, when you go for interview and ask what's your salary expectation, do not shoot yourself on the foot. Be very realistic with your responses. Now, poor attitude and lack of emotional intelligence. I think this is my second to the last point. Coming across as entitled. Our Gen Zs, I'm going to put it out there. Our Gen Zs, it is well. Poor attitude and lack of emotional intelligence. IQ is a game changer. You see, emotional intelligence is not something that you will be taught in school. In fact, it's not part of educational curriculum. It's something that life teaches you, and it's something that you have to be intentional about learning. School is not going to teach you how to be a team player. School is not going to teach you how to use soft skills like being polite, like being respectful, like being teachable, like being patient, like being a team player. School is not going to teach you in details all those things. It's life experiences that's going to teach you all these things. So it's important that you you learn. I always say these things to people: be teachable. Don't claim like you know it all. Nobody is an island of knowledge. Nobody knows it all. Only our Heavenly Father does. So everybody strives for knowledge, strives for intelligence. So it's important that you are teachable. Because where you think that you know, you will see somebody that thing that you feel like you know is the starting point for that person. So display confidence without arrogance. Some people come for interviews and they are so overconfident. And the moment you start putting them through technical questions, you start seeing their errors. Be confident but not arrogant. Stay professional and cautious in all interactions. Don't be rude. Learn from rejections and seek feedback to improve. Somebody was giving me a gist about an interview, and the panel the candidates went for an interview, and the candidate was not asking that share you people did not used to give somebody thanks for coming. in an interview. And the one of the panelists said, no, we don't. And with this kind of question, it shows your quality of person. I'm sorry, we'll not be able to continue this interview with you. And the guy did not leave. He was stagnant there. That after the interview, they have to give him thanks for coming. That cost of living is hard. This is that. This is that. See, you see, one thing about attitude. Attitude is not something that you can hide under the boss. It will still show off. So it's important that you have the right attitude and emotional intelligence. Right.
Grace, I'm
Inconsistency
enjoying
and
this,
giving up
but
too soon.
our time, our time. We just have about
Yes,
5 minutes.
I'm actually on the last point. So I'm going
Okay,
to wrap
great.
up immediately. I'm on the last point. Inconsistency and giving up too soon. Many job seekers apply Many job seekers apply inconsistently, and they get discouraged by rejections and stop applying. I'll give myself as an example. There was a time in my life I was applying for a project. Let's put it that way. I was applying for a project and I kept on applying to different institutions. And all the time I was getting, unfortunately. I'll wake up, my mail, I'll see five unfortunately from different institutions. I'll wake up, five unfortunately. It was tiring. At some point, I gave up. I said, no, I'm not doing this shit again. But again, you have to keep pressing. At some point, that's not giving up thing, it came back again. I started applying, and amazingly I started seeing the kind of responses I wanted to get. So it's important that you stay consistent. Apply to multiple roles per week. When you apply to like 10 places, one person will call you. Treat job searching like a job. Set daily targets for applications, for networking, for skill building. Stay motivated and persistent. The right opportunity will come with effort and strategy. So it's not about you just waking up and be applying away and be applying to it. Once you have taken in the beginning of this session, being streamlining your job search. Once you can do those things strategically and keep applying, somebody will call you. Amazingly, you will get job offers that you will even be the one to select the one that you want. Right? So that's my last point for this class. Conclusion: avoid making mistakes that can significantly increase your chances. Hold on one second. Avoiding mistakes can significantly increase your chances of securing your ideal job. A strategic job search involves self awareness. I talked about this in the beginning. Proper preparation, networking, and continuous improvement is important. Take charge of your career by applying these insights, and you stand out as a strong candidate in any job market. So I believe with this few points of mine, I've been able to do justice to common mistakes people make when applying for jobs and how to avoid them. So at this point, I'll take questions from
Wow, wow.
everyone.
Thank you so much,
Uh,
Grace. This was very
Thank
detailed.
you so much, Mr.
This
Shegun.
was very detailed. So, like, you know what? Yeah, I really want people to ask
Thank you
questions
very
because
much.
that way it's
So I'll
very
take questions from
interactive.
the house.
Yes, and we can learn more. So, if you have questions, you can raise your hand so I can call your name. You can raise your hand. Anyone question? Okay. Don't have any question. Just it. Okay, you can stop sharing your screen since we don't have any question. And I'd like to move to the second phase because I also like to share my screen also. Okay, someone has a question. Okay, Victor raised his hand.
Yeah, thank you
Okay,
very much. And also
okay.
thanks to the speaker. So my question is what what's the difference or how how can you tell when you're the difference between being confident and being arrogant? I know it's a fine line, but I was just hoping that you could sort of give examples on, when you're overconfident or when you're confident or when you're being arrogant. I would appreciate if you could give like real life examples. Thanks.
Sorry, I
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
I didn't get that.
Okay, no, but let me help you. So what he said was that he was asking a question about there's a fine line between being confident and being arrogant during an interview. So he was saying that if you could give an example of how that can be balanced out. So if you're in an interview, you want to display confidence, but you don't want to be arrogant at the same time. So how can we navigate through that? That was his question.
Okay, it's simple. It's simple. I know for confident people means that you know your onions, you know what you're saying. But arrogance is when you're now too proud. Like, this thing I can do it is not a big deal, and you start using some words or some foul languages that you're not supposed to use. Do you understand? That's where arrogance comes in. Yes, like somebody in tech, we know you can do websites, we know you can do this thing, we know you can do these things. You can now strategically and intelligently bring down or highlight your points. And also, you can say you can stand to be corrected. But saying it in a way that this thing is not a big deal, who does not know how to do this thing, and saying it in a condescending manner, that's when arrogance comes in. So you have to watch it. So when you are being very confident, it's important that you are confident and you are smart. So I believe I'm able to respond to that.
Yeah. I love the answer. Being it's all about the approach, and I like the word they use, not being condescending, because if you are just very direct about your answer, stating your points clearly, do you understand? They would understand that okay, this person is just trying to explain his answer. You get so I
Mhm.
really I like the answer. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so not to take much time, I just want to quickly just run through some of the things she said and how we can take advantage of it. So we have a video because I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago we brought someone on that talked to us about the interviewing. So he took us through how we can properly prepare for interviews, and he said everything that he talked about. And that video is available on YouTube. I'll send it to you. You can also share it with some of the people that attended the webinar. So for those that maybe want more insight into interview preparation, how they can prepare, things to do, things not to do. So please watch that video. That video was very detailed. We broke all the things you need to do down, for interview preparation, how to dress, everything. So if you need more clarity on that, I'll share that video. Then also, okay, Buki Bash, hand this up. We'll get to you in a second. But I just want to quickly talk about my own services, because here at Career Next Level, part of the services I offer is I offer one-on-one coaching. So, for example, let's say you get an interview or email and you're not quite sure how to prepare, you don't know what to do and all that. You can schedule a consultation call with me and I can guide you through what is expected, okay? How you need to prepare, the questions you should look out for, researching the company and all that. So that's one of the things I do. If you need me to also set up a mock interview, I can do that for you, because part of the things we also discussed in the interview session was that, you need to use ChatGPT to kind of help your job search in terms of, you drop the role on ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT for possible questions. They may not even ask you some of those questions, but at least it will give you a guide of what to expect so that you can prepare. I saw that you put on your slide the STAR method of interviewing, how to use situations to answer questions, but I know because of time, we couldn't get to that. In that video, we also discussed that, in detail, breaking it down on how you can answer questions using the STAR method, okay? Then you also spoke about resume and cover letter. We still see some people applying for jobs, sending in their resumes without cover letters. I like the fact that you also explained that for some roles, you don't need to attach it as a document. You can just paste it in the email and send. Do you understand? So we also have a video on job strategies in 2025. There we explained the importance of um, you know, clarifying your goals. And I like that you started with that, explaining that before you even say you are looking for a job, what are your skills? What can you do? Do you understand? So in that video, I also explained the details of how identifying your strong skills, doing trainings in the area that you're interested in and developing yourself. So once you have that, then you can start applying. And I like the point you also made about resumes, saying that as an HR professional, you have received 1,000 resumes. And if you see somebody that is not coming in correct, you just skip and move on. There's literally no time. Do you understand? So that is why we are having this seminar, to give people the opportunity to put their best foot forward. Do you understand? So if you need help with revamping your resume, you need help with how to, write cover letters, I'll also help with that. You can let me know. Then our online presence. In fact, I love that you talked about this LinkedIn optimization. So for some people, maybe they already have a job, do you understand? But they want to be active on LinkedIn and they want to know how to optimize their LinkedIn. Optimization on LinkedIn, it's a whole thing on its own. And we did a video about that too. I brought my friend Jonathan, and we dissected how you can use LinkedIn to optimize network and all that. He gave a personal example of his experience. So if you need help with optimizing your LinkedIn profile, creating a very good banner picture, things to write in your summary page, how to add your achievements, recommendation, endorsements. I'm your guy. Please just let me know. I'll let you know how you can do it. And for those that like to join my support community, because we have a community of young professionals where we support each other in job applications. I post jobs, opportunities that I see on the channel. And some people do need guidance in the job application process, because sometimes you're applying for a job, they're asking you to fill a form, you're not quite clear on the details on how you should fill it, and you really want to put your best foot forward. So that's one of the support I provide on the group. So if you're interested, I can send you the link on how you can join our community and participate. Then also, if maybe your company needs someone that can come and train about career development, training, seminar, job insights, and all that, I also do that too. So if maybe you need somebody that can come and speak about career development, CV optimization, and definitely career clarity, everything that has to do with career, I also do that. So that's part of why I'm hosting this seminar, to let people know, what I do, and most importantly, give people the right information that they need to succeed. So now let me take Buki Bash's questions. You raise your hand. So Buki Bash, you can unmute. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Segun. My question is to Grace. Now, my question is this. If, for example, you see a job vacancy and you feel like, oh, this is something I can do, this skill set matches my skill set, and then it happened that on that job vacancy, the salary was stated, and you see that this salary is too small for you. Like you yourself, that, because my question is more in the direction of being realistic about salary expectation. Okay, so let's just say, for example, I see a job application, I see a job vacancy, and I read all the job description. And I'm like, oh wow, this is something I can do. And then I see the salary, and I'm like, I cannot collect this kind of salary, but I know that I can do this thing. Now, what's your advice? Do you advise that you apply regardless, and then in the interview table, I can negotiate what I think I should be paid based on the value that I'm bringing? Or do you think if I feel like this salary is small for me, I should just leave it and not apply and move on? What would be your advice in that regard? That's my question.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. So we've seen instances like this on multiple occasions. So it's a two-way street. But for me, personally, I'll advise that you apply. Now, this is the reason why. For some companies, they have their fixed prices, they have their fixed salary range, and they are not ready, or they are not willing, or they are not even interested in reviewing that salary structure. But you are somebody now that has the skill set and everything. In the interview, you can now negotiate it further. Now, they can now say, oh, this is our benchmark, we cannot take this, we cannot do this, we cannot do that, and all that. But you have made your point, you have made your stand, and make it known to them, because it's your life here. When I go for interviews, I like to be very, very, very diplomatic when I'm doing something. I have put my resume in your front. I have told you what I can do. I have shown you that I am an asset. So if you do not have the funds to pay me, it's fine. Keep me on KIV. When you have money to hire me, you can come back to it, or you can take someone else. So I would advise that you apply, just so that you put yourself, you sell yourself to that company. As I speak with you, there are people like this that has happened. When I was working in the consulting firm, there was a guy that wanted to recruit as a surveyor. And when he told us the salary expectation, it was not something that we could afford at the time. But this guy was good. We had to keep his CV on KIV, and we recruited somebody. And unfortunately, along the line, that person wasn't good enough. My MD had to tell me to go back to that guy and call him back. And we are offering him that pay that he requested for. So I will not outrightly say you should just zone out and forget about it. If it's a reputable company that you know that you still have eyes for this company, go ahead for it and negotiate further, and make sure that you leave a presence with them so that they can call you back tomorrow. My response.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much for that answer. So now let's take the last question by Stella. Yes, so Stella, your hand is raised. So please go ahead with your question, Stella.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good
Yeah,
evening.
my question is there are some situations where you apply for jobs, and when you get the broadcast, they would ask you to use the job description as the um subtitle. So my question is, okay, I want to apply for, let's say, a customer service job or a social media job. Am I supposed to write a full cover letter? Is it compulsory to write a full cover letter, like the long notes about your job, your role, or you just go straight to the point, tell them to find your CV and write a very little note? So which one is preferable when it comes to job hunting? So I
Okay.
just want to
So
clear.
I, I I think I get your response. So it's as regards cover letter and email content while applying for your jobs, right? Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
as an applicant, it's important that you see this cover letter that we talk about. It's not so compulsory, but it gives you an edge. It's not so compulsory. There are some HR professionals that I know today, even if you send them 100 essay as your cover letter, they just want to see your CV, get what they want to get in the CV, and then move on. But again, you see that cover letter, it gives you an edge. It helps the recruiter know your mind. It helps the recruiter know how organized you are in terms of writing, what your mind is. It gives the recruiter an insight to your kind of person. In as much as your CV states all your background, education, career experiences, but a cover letter helps me know this person in context, helps me know this person away from the background and other, helps me know that this person can read, can write, can organize, can speak. It helps me identify some soft skills about that person. That's why cover letter is important. I'll give an example. I was in an event and HRCs was talking about a CV that she had seen. Somebody applied for a role, and in his CV, he does not really have all the experiences that she's looking for. But he said something in his cover letter. I know that the experiences you are looking for is not in my CV. However, I've been able to do this, and I think I am best fit for this role because of what I can bring to the table. I can do this, I can do that, and that was how he got the job. His CV was not what he wanted, but what he wrote on his cover letter was what gave him the opportunity to go on an interview, and he won the interview and he got the job. So, cover letters may not be extremely compulsory, but it gives you an edge. So, if you can settle down to create an organized offer letter, please do. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Wow, we spent an
Thank
hour.
you.
We
Thank
spent
you
an
so
hour. We
much.
started at 6:05 and this is
Oh, wow.
7:05. Yes, thank you so much, Grace, again for
Thank you so
pouring
much.
out your wealth of knowledge, to us about how to apply for jobs and the things we should do, the things we do not do. Even me as an expert, I've taken, one or two things that I need to, adjust. And I like the points that you made about preparation for interviews. There are a lot of interviews that personally I went for, and I know that if I had prepared better, I would have done better. Because you
Mm-hmm.
getting that email for an interview, you don't know, the processes that have gone through it, the emails, like the amount of CVs that the recruiter had screened before they got to you. So once you get that email, my not to everyone is give it your best, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Research the company, know what their pain points are. If you can find some problems, talk about it. Then most importantly, I like the point you made about asking questions. During the video that we did about interviewing, I said something. I said this is a very important question that you should ask at the end of an interview. Ask them that if you get this job in the next 30 days or in the next 60 days, what is success like in this role for you? So that you can know the matrix they are going to use to judge your performance on the job. Not the one that you now start a job and you now say, oh, after 3 months,
Assess
you
you.
do
Yes.
well, come
Very
and be
important.
going. No, you ask that question of what are the expectations are, so that you will know that, okay, these are the things you need to do. And also, you're also showing yourself like as if you're someone that is already willing to join their company. Do you understand? So please, that's a very good question to ask at the end of an interview. So for more information, please reach out for the video. I'll send it to you. And I feel everyone should try and load yourself with as much information as you can, so that you have the right information and tools to stand yourself out in the very competitive job market. Thank you so much again, Grace, for taking out the time, and for everyone that joined us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
So
thank you so
grateful.
much. And definitely, I'll try and make the recordings available for those that missed the session, so that they can have the opportunity to, get all the insights that we have shared. Thank you all so much, and enjoy the rest of the week.